Document stash. My family thought it was hilarious to abandon me in another state. Can you imagine being deliberately abandoned by your own family, hundreds of miles from home, all because they thought it would be a hilarious prank? Because that's exactly what happened to me, Hazel, when I was 28. They drove off laughing, betting I'd crawl back. But I never did. Not for 16 long years. And by the time they finally found me, I was a completely different person. Stick around, because this is the story of how being left behind wasn't the end of me, it was the beginning of everything. Growing up in the Reynolds house was like living in a constant hazing ritual. My parents, Barbara and Richard, truly believed that toughening us up with jokes and humiliation was character building. My older brothers, Brett and Craig, were their star pupils, and I was almost always the target. Our family photos might look like happy celebrations, but for me, they were often snapshots of public humiliation. I remember my 10th birthday party, tricked into believing no one was coming, crying for hours before the big surprise. My middle school graduation? They forgot and showed up late on purpose. High school prom? They gave my date the wrong address. Every single time, it was the same dismissive chorus, "Can't you take a joke, Hazel? We're just having fun." Mom's cruelty was more subtle. As I hit my teens, her compliments were always backhanded jabs at my appearance, that dress would be beautiful if you lost 15 pounds, or your face would be pretty if you just smiled more and fixed your skin. Dad, on the other hand, was brutally direct. He'd just laugh, the loudest in the room, whenever Brett or Craig pulled their latest stunt on me. Brett, 4 years older, was already groomed to take over Dad's insurance firm. Craig, 2 years older than him, handled the marketing. Both had absorbed the family philosophy, emotional torment was bonding. Our family dinners were often spent recounting the hilarious pranks they'd pulled on colleagues or friends. I just graduated college with a graphic design degree, 3 weeks before our fateful Colorado trip. The unspoken expectation was that I'd just joined the family business, designing their brochures and websites. I'd mentioned wanting to apply to creative agencies in Chicago, where we lived, but my parents scoffed. "You can do your little art projects for the company," Mom had said at my graduation dinner. "It'll be so much more stable than trying to make it on your own." Truth be told, I was financially dependent. College loans weighed on me, and my parents had strategically kept me tied to them, paying for my apartment while constantly reminding me that their generosity could vanish if I wasn't appreciative enough. I worked part-time at a coffee shop, but it was nowhere near enough to truly support myself. This Colorado trip was supposed to be a graduation celebration, a week in a rented cabin near Rocky Mountain National Park. But from the moment we piled into the SUV, the air was thick with tension. Did you remember to and then watch the full story? Link is attached below?